Today, we're digging into one of the biggest stories happening in global tech, and it all boils down to one single, really fundamental question. Is it military power? Is it having a ton of natural resources? Maybe just a huge population? Well, in this age of digital everything, the answer is becoming, well, crystal clear. And right now, there's one nation that's pushing all of its chips to the center of the table. We're talking about South Korea, and they are gearing up to launch one of the most ambitious state-funded AI initiatives anywhere on the planet. Okay, so to really get your head around the sheer scale of this ambition, you gotta follow the money. And believe me, this isn't just some line item in a budget. This is a national declaration of intent. So check this out. This is South Korea's proposed government budget for 2026. We're talking over $500 billion US. It's a massive 8.1% increase from last year. The government is basically shouting from the rooftops that they're cutting back elsewhere to make these huge strategic bets on the future. Now let's zoom in on where that investment is really targeted. The budget for the Ministry of Science and ICT, or MSIT, has been cranked up to an all-time high of nearly 24 trillion won. That's almost a 13% jump. And this isn't just a one-off spending spree. It's a powerful signal of stable, long-term support for science and tech. But here's the thing. This isn't just about throwing a ton of money at a problem and hoping for the best. Nope. This is about a highly coordinated national mission, a mission that has artificial intelligence at its absolute core. And this is the number that really matters. For 2026, the government has set aside 10.1 trillion won. That's over $7 billion US, specifically for AI. I mean, that's more than a 200% increase from the year before. But honestly, how they're planning to spend it is even more interesting. So they're using this really clever approach they call a vertical strategy. Instead of just sticking AI in one single tech ministry and calling it a day, they're weaving it through the entire government. It's a brilliant move to make sure AI doesn't just get stuck in a research lab, but actually goes out and transforms every single part of the economy. And here's what that looks like in practice. You've got the MSIT, which handles all the deep tech R&D and the heavy lifting on infrastructure, like building large language models. Then the Ministry of Trade, MOIT, their job is to get that tech out into the real world. Think AI chips, manufacturing. And finally, the Ministry for SMEs makes sure even the smallest mom-and-pop shops can get in on the action. It's a total top-to-bottom national transformation. And man, the shopping list is pretty incredible. They're grabbing 15,000 new high-performance GPUs to seriously boost their national computing power. They're funneling cash into physical AI for the robotics and auto industries, next-gen on-device AI chips, and they're even future-proofing their cybersecurity with quantum cryptography. It's the whole shebang. Okay, so all this investment is fantastic, right? But for decades, it's all been happening behind this big regulatory wall. For any foreign tech companies out there, this next part is exactly why 2026 is such a game changer. A door that was basically sealed shut has just been cracked open. See, the South Korean public sector has always been a notoriously tough nut to crack. It was basically a fortress, protected by these super strict homegrown security rules that pretty much locked out most international cloud and software companies. And the key to that fortress? It was this certification called CSAP. If you didn't have it, you simply couldn't sell your cloud services to any part of the government. End of story. It was this one rigid standard that was incredibly hard for any non-Korean company to meet. Well, until now. The government has completely revamped the whole system. The old one-size-fits-all rule, gone. It's been replaced with this much more flexible, three-tiered system. Now, services get certified as high, middle, or lower security, all based on how sensitive the data they're handling is. And this right here is the critical part. That lower tier has officially been opened up to foreign competition, and Microsoft just became the very first global tech giant to get certified. This isn't just some minor policy change. It is a seismic shift. It's South Korea sending a message to the world that it is officially open for business. So you've got this massive budget, and you've got a newly opened door. The big question is, how do companies actually take advantage of this? Well, the source material lays out a really clear three-step playbook for how to get in and win. It really just boils down to this. First, you use that new CSAP lower tier as your way in. Second, you don't just sell to Korea, you co-develop the future with them. And third, you show you're serious by investing in local infrastructure. Let's break that down real quick. All right, step one is all about being strategic. Think of the lower tier not just as a sales channel, but as a testbed. You target sectors like edtech or local governments, places where the data isn't quite as sensitive. You use these first few projects to learn the ropes of their complex public procurement system, build up trust, and get those all-important local case studies you can use to land bigger deals down the line. Step two is where you really start to create deep roots. Instead of just trying to compete, you collaborate. You partner up with Korean research institutes on brand new cutting-edge stuff, like quantum security. You provide the ML ops and management software for their massive new GPU farms. You work hand in hand with their world-class manufacturers to co-develop the next generation of on-device AI. The goal is to become an indispensable part of their whole ecosystem. And finally, step three is about putting your money where your mouth is. To win that trust and those bigger contracts, you have to show you're in it for the long haul. That means investing in local data centers to deal with data sovereignty concerns. It means engaging with the R&D hubs that are outside of just Seoul. And it definitely means looking into the pretty attractive foreign investment incentives the government is offering. The source material sums this all up with a really great analogy. Think of the Korean market like a castle inside a maze. For years, the walls were just too high to climb. But now, this CSAP lower tier is like a small secret passage that's just been opened. The winning strategy? You use that passage to get inside and learn the layout, and then you partner with the people already there to build new, more advanced towers together. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. South Korea has put its cards on the table. They have a multi-billion-dollar AI blueprint and a market that has just been unlocked. This is without a doubt one of the biggest opportunities in global tech right now. The only real question left is, who's going to be bold enough to walk through that door first? Thanks for tuning in.